All right, let's dive right into this explainer. When you think of flexible hoses, explosive, tech stock level growth probably isn't the first phrase that pops into your head. But, well, Aeroflex is completely flipping that assumption on its head right now. If you've been following the industrial tech and engineered solution space, you know perfectly well that shifting from traditional manufacturing into high-tech, value-added engineering is no easy feat. It's tough. But Aeroflex's latest quarter isn't just a step in that direction, it's a massive leap. Today, we're unpacking the incredible Q1FY27 momentum coming out of Aeroflex Industries by breaking down the exact numbers, the underlying technology, and the strategic pivot driving these phenomenal results.
We're just going to put the bottom line right up front today. 162.22%. That is the absolutely staggering year-over-year jump in Aeroflex's profit after tax for this quarter, leaping from 7.17 crore to 18.79 crore rupees. I mean, this isn't just a good quarter. It's a structural transformation that completely redefines their market trajectory. When a company posts this kind of bottom-line explosion, it really begs the question of what exactly changed under the hood to make it all happen.
To see exactly how they pulled this off, here's our agenda for today. We'll be looking at their record-breaking Q1 performance, their financial highlights, the liquid cooling catalyst, how they're building on FY26 success, and finally, their future outlook and strategy.
Let's get right into Section 1, record-breaking Q1 performance.
So the really crucial takeaway here from Managing Director Asad Daud is that this leap in profitability, it's not some isolated spike. It's definitely not a one-off accounting win. As he points out, this reflects strong execution and broad-based growth across literally all product segments. We're seeing sustained demand pouring in from both domestic and international markets. Basically, it's the result of a deliberate, multi-year strategy to move up the value chain that is finally starting to fire on all cylinders simultaneously.
Moving on to Section 2, Q1 FY27 financial highlights. Okay, consider the sheer operational efficiency we're seeing here. Total income jumped significantly, sure, but EBITDA? It grew by a massive 116% year-over-year, hitting 33.49 crore rupees. Honestly though, the real star of the show for me is the margin expansion. We're talking up 468 basis points to hit a highly robust 23.04%. Their profit after tax margin also expanded by 441 basis points, inching very close to 13%. In industrial manufacturing, getting this kind of margin jump is rare. It tells us they aren't just pushing more volume, they have real pricing power and are selling highly engineered premium products.
Now, thinking specifically about top-line expansion, there's a jump from roughly 85 crores in Q1 of last year to nearly 146 crore rupees, 145.97 to be exact, in just a single year. That's a 72.41% top-line growth. When you combine top-line growth north of 72% with those rapidly expanding margins we just talked about, well, that's exactly how you get that 162% explosion in profit after tax that we saw at the very beginning.
Which brings us to Section 3, the liquid cooling catalyst. Now, numbers only tell half the story, right? We need to talk about the actual engineering and products that catalyze this explosive growth. It is absolutely worth noting that Aeroflex's traditional foundation remains incredibly strong. Their core flexible hose business saw an impressive 41% growth year-over-year. And hey, growing your legacy business by 41% is a fantastic quarter for almost anyone. But here's the crazy part. For Aeroflex, that core business is actually being outpaced by their new, highly engineered solutions. These value-added assemblies are fundamentally changing the company's revenue mix and rapidly accelerating their profitability.
The exact technology leading this charge is the SFN skid assembly. Guys, this isn't just basic manufacturing. This is highly complex, engineered fluid flow problem solving. In this quarter alone, these liquid cooling skid assemblies generated a remarkable 32.4 crore rupees. That is a massive acceleration for a specific product line and totally represents the tip of the spear for Aeroflex's move into advanced tech applications.
To really put that 32.4 crore into perspective, think about how it impacts their overall revenue pie. These highly engineered SFN skid assemblies now make up almost a quarter, 23% to be exact, of Aeroflex's entire revenue stream. This is just a textbook example of successfully moving up the value chain. By capturing almost a quarter of their revenue from a high-margin, highly specialized product line, they structurally lift the profitability of the entire enterprise.
So why does this specific product matter so much? Well, it's all about where it's deployed. These skids provide controlled coolant circulation across entire cooling cycles for high-density server racks, and that drops Aeroflex directly into the absolutely booming data center infrastructure market.
As artificial intelligence and cloud computing require increasingly power-hungry servers, advanced liquid cooling isn't a luxury anymore. It's a sheer necessity. And honestly, this is what's truly fascinating. Aeroflex is literally engineering the next intelligence by making sure these massive data centers can operate without completely overheating. All right, Section 4, Building on FY26 Success. It's super important to realize this Q1 explosion didn't just come out of nowhere. It was heavily previewed by their FY26 operational momentum. Last year, they already grew their total income by 17% to over 443 crore, and their EBITDA jumped 26% to nearly 100 crore rupees. They deliberately executed a strategic shift, moving away from simple component manufacturing and pushing hard into engineered assemblies and integrated fluid flow solutions. The 162% PAT jump we're seeing right now is simply the compounding reward of the disciplined execution and capacity optimization they established throughout all of FY26.
Finally, Section 5, Future Outlook and Strategy. So, with a fortress balance sheet and a proven ability to capture high-margin revenue, where is Aeroflex aiming its sights next? Their strategy going forward is hyper-focused on the future. They are aggressively targeting industries that are virtually future-proof and desperately require advanced thermal management and fluid flow solutions. We already talked about data centers, but they're also expanding their footprint into the semiconductor space, robotics, and advanced manufacturing. These are sectors where precision thermal management is mission-critical. By positioning themselves as the go-to provider in these emerging applications, Aeroflex is setting the stage for sustained, long-term, high-margin growth.
So I'll leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. Aeroflex is clearly no longer just making hoses, right? They are powering the next intelligence by enabling the actual infrastructure of tomorrow. As they continue to master these emerging tech applications and permanently shift their revenue mix toward high-margin engineered assemblies, we have to ask, how will this strategic pivot permanently alter the market's long-term valuation of Aeroflex in the industrial tech space? Because the numbers from this quarter heavily suggest the market might need to start pricing them less like a traditional manufacturer and a whole lot more like a critical technology infrastructure partner. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep your eye on this incredibly fascinating company.